A decision late this afternoon by the government will give school principals the option of allowing Year 12 and 13 students back to school early for face-to-face learning during Alert Level 3. Auckland Grammar Headmaster Tim O'Connor has been imploring authorities to allow some flexibility, especially for students so close to crucial assessments. And he joins me now. You must be pretty relieved tonight, Tim.
Oh, I'm ecstatic, Lisa. It's great news.
So how's it going to work?
Look, it is quite complicated. Clearly, the government have to work through the health order to be able to get dispensation for schools to return Year 12 and 13 students. And it sounds like that will happen tomorrow, and then we'll find out what day students can return. It is quite complicated because we are going to have to apply, of course, all of the appropriate health requirements, that is physical distancing, outside of 2 metres and 1 metre inside, classes of 20, not being able to mix those classes.
What about teachers? So the teacher has to stay with the same group of students, Tim?
The teacher can't be associated with more than one group of students, but the bubble of students can have more than one teacher. So there is going to be quite a lot of organisation that we're going to have to work through tomorrow to make this viable. It just might mean that students aren't with us for the entire day. It might be that the science-related students are together in a bubble, humanity-related students are in another bubble, etc., and we have teachers coming to and from them. But we'll work that through. The news is that any form of face-to-face contact is great for our young people.
So the thing is, and we've had some feedback on this already, that other teachers are saying, well, that's great if you're a high decile school, you get your way and it's easier for you to do. This person, I'll just read one piece of feedback. Those of us teaching in low decile schools with high Māori and Pacific populations will be feeling really torn. We want to do our best for our students, but I personally would not feel it's safe to return to school at present. We also have less students with devices for distance learning through schools, although my school has done a magnificent job to ensure all students have a device. And also there are teacher-student ratios which could be an issue for some of the schools. So do you think that this unfairly advantages high decile schools and disadvantages the low decile ones with not so many resources?
No, I don't think so. I think what it does is provide schools with flexibility to be able to make decisions that are right for them and for their community. And one of the critical group of students who we need to be catering for in this process and this time of the term is actually our students who are involved with vocational pathways. And that is not necessarily students who are going through for high-stake external examinations, but students who are involved with a lot of practical work, and they simply will fall behind very, very quickly indeed.
But will some schools be faced with the dilemma that they simply do not have the number of teaching staff to have these, 20 students and one teacher and not mixing up the bubbles? That's a resource issue, isn't it? How many staff you've got versus how many students, while trying to keep the rest of the school going?
It depends how you want to skin the cat, really. This does not say that you have to have your entire Year 12 and 13 students on site every day. It may well be, and we have yet to decide, it may well be that we bring some Year 12 students on campus one day, some Year 13 students on campus another day. We may well choose to just group them so that we can cater for them with the resources that we've got. But I reiterate that any face-to-face contact is better than none, and I would urge any school in Auckland to be doing their utmost to return some of the students so that they get some contact.
How do you think the students are going to react to it? I know the decision's just come through, not sure if you've had a chance to speak to any of them, but how are they feeling about it?
They will be ecstatic. I can't speak for students across other campuses, but our young men will be ecstatic about this because it just gives them the opportunity for that face-to-face contact. It gives them the opportunity to be able to get prompt responses from teachers. Anything that we can give them, they will be grateful for. And I should say, we're very grateful to the Ministry of Education for listening and for supporting education of students across Auckland.
Do you always get such a positive response? Because you obviously articulated your concerns on this program last week, and then, hello, Monday, there's a seemingly change of position.
Oh, look, I have admitted to the Secretary General that I'm the first to criticise them when I feel criticism is due. But I hope that this afternoon I was the first to congratulate them as well, because, as I've said, anything is better than nothing.
So you're obviously waiting on things from their end in order and to make sure it's all legal and above board, but how quickly can you swing into action once you get the thumbs up to go?
We'll be good to go for Wednesday. We've been preparing multiple scenarios. Our leadership team have been working some pretty significant hours for a whole pile of different options that we could put in place. So what we've got to do is wait for the final arrangements from the ministry tomorrow. We can see the general guidelines tonight. We've already seen those, so we know that there are some parameters within which we're going to have to work that are restrictive, but they are manageable at the same time.
Appreciate your time this evening. That is Tim O'Connor, who is Auckland Grammar's headmaster, and he spoke to us last week raising his concerns about, well, senior students needing to come back to school. Well, the government has moved on this, and that will be possible for some students with some restrictions, as he said.